Your dog has been telling you something every single day and you've been ignoring it. Not on purpose, not out of cruelty, you just never knew what you were hearing. That long, slow exhale your dog releases the moment they drop down beside you. On the couch, on the floor, against your leg while you scroll through your phone. You heard it and thought, oh, they're tired. Maybe they had a big day of barking at the mailman and chasing their tail. That was the story you told yourself, and it was completely wrong. That sigh isn't fatigue, it's surrender, not the defeated kind, the kind where every muscle in their body unclenches. Because their nervous system just decided that nothing in the environment is a threat. Their ears have been spinning all day like tiny radar stations, picking up the garbage truck 4 streets over, a dog walker passing the window, or a bag of chips opening in the next room. They've been on duty since sunrise, and the second they land next to you, something deep inside their wiring flips off. That exhale you dismissed 100 times is the sound of your dog choosing you as the one place on earth where vigilance is no longer necessary. You aren't their comfort, you're their ceasefire, and here's where it gets uncomfortable. That's just one of 8 signals your dog has been sending you, probably today, probably in the last hour, and you caught none of them. Not because you're a bad owner, because nobody ever taught you what to look for. You watched the head tilt and grabbed your camera. You felt the lean against your shin and assumed they wanted a treat. You saw them staring from across the room and figured they were just being weird. Every single one of those moments carried a meaning so specific that researchers in Budapest spent years designing controlled experiments just to decode them. 40 dogs, structured trials, and what they found quietly dismantled the assumption that dogs are simple creatures running on instinct and kibble motivation. Your dog has been speaking a complete language made of breath, posture, eye contact, and weight distribution, and you've been fluent in none of it. That changes now. 43%, that isn't a feeling, that isn't a guess. That's the exact rate at which dogs who had memorized the names of their toys tilted their heads when asked to fetch one.
Dogs who hadn't learned the names, almost 0, because you were too busy calling the head tilt cute.
It was never cute, it was your dog narrowing down a mental filing cabinet. In real time, cross-referencing a sound you made with an object they already cataloged. That tilt is the canine equivalent of you squinting at a spreadsheet trying to make the numbers work. And the fact that your dog does it voluntarily without a treat dangling means they're investing cognitive effort into understanding you. Not because they have to, because they decided to. Now put that next to what happens when they press 70 pounds into your leg. You think that's just a dog being clingy, run the chemistry. Physical contact between a dog and their owner fires off oxytocin, the identical hormone that locks a mother to her newborn in the first hours. But here's where the data gets uncomfortable. That oxytocin spike is strongest when the dog initiates the contact. And when it's aimed at one specific person, their primary human. A stranger standing in the exact same spot offering the same hand gets almost nothing. Your dog's nervous system already did the audit, it already decided who matters. And every time they lean into you and you absent-mindedly rest your hand, both of your bodies are running the exact same chemical transaction. A silent bilateral agreement that says, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. You didn't sign that contract, your biology did, and so did theirs. 13 out of 15, that ratio should stop you cold. When researchers put dogs through brain imaging and compared neural responses, 13 out of 15 dogs lit up harder for their owner's voice than for a treat sitting right in front of them. Not a trained trick, not conditioned obedience. The caudate nucleus, the exact region of the brain that processes reward, fired stronger for the sound of you saying good job than for the thing that literally keeps them alive. Out of every scent placed in front of those dogs during the original trial, familiar dogs, unfamiliar dogs, food, their own scent, yours was the one that triggered the highest caudate response. A worn shirt you left crumpled on the floor carries more neurological weight than a bowl of food. Your dog's entire reward architecture is structured around one asset, and that asset is your presence. 83% of dogs, when confronted with something unfamiliar, a box by the door, a suitcase in the hallway, anything their brain hasn't categorized yet, they don't investigate it first. They turn and look at your face. Researchers at the University of Milan documented this exact behavior. The dog doesn't sniff the object, the dog doesn't bark, the dog reads you. Your expression becomes the filter through which they decide whether the world is safe or dangerous in that moment. And when the researchers ran the same test using a stranger's face giving the exact same cues, the dogs barely responded. A stranger's reassurance meant almost nothing, your calm meant everything. This is called social referencing, the same mechanism a toddler uses. When they glance at a parent's face before deciding to cry or laugh, your dog wired their entire emotional navigation system to your reactions. Every room they walk into, every sound they can't explain, every object that appears without warning. They're running it through one filter first, not experience, you. Tonight, your dog is going to climb onto the bed, or curl up somewhere near your feet. And for the first time, you're going to understand exactly what's happening inside their brain the moment they do it. Researchers in Budapest strapped sleep monitors onto dogs and tracked their brain activity across multiple nights. Some nights the owner stayed in the room, some nights the dog slept completely alone. Same bed, same temperature, same everything. The only variable was whether their person was present, and the results weren't subtle. So here's the smallest thing you can do starting tonight. When your dog settles beside you, don't reach for your phone. Don't scroll, just sit there, let them exhale. And then, when they look up at you with that soft, unhurried gaze, no agenda, no treat jar in sight, just looking, hold it, 3 seconds, that's all. A landmark study published in Science found that when you and your dog lock eyes, both of your brains flood with oxytocin. It loops. The longer the gaze, the more oxytocin builds. The more it builds, the more your dog wants to look at you again. You're constructing a chemical bond in real time, and it costs you nothing except 3 seconds of stillness. That's the entire method, not a training program, not a lifestyle overhaul. Just be present when they settle, and meet their eyes when they find yours. Here's the part that should unsettle you a little. Wolves raised by humans from the day they were born, hand-fed, spoken to, slept beside, never once triggered that oxytocin loop. Researchers watched and waited and measured, and the result was a flat line, nothing. That chemical conversation between two sets of eyes only fires in one species, and it's the one curled up on your couch right now. Your dog didn't inherit that ability from the wild, they built it across thousands of years of choosing you. And you almost missed it because it looked like nothing, a sigh, a lean, a toy dropped at your feet followed by a look so deliberate. It meets every scientific criterion for intentional communication. 19 distinct gestures, each one a sentence your dog assembled out of movement and eye contact because spoken words were never going to be available. And when you ignored the first attempt, they didn't walk away. They nudged the object closer, they repeated the sequence, they adjusted. That isn't a pet performing tricks for a treat, that's a mind-finding language where none was given. You aren't going to overhaul your life after watching this. That isn't what this is for. But tomorrow morning when your dog exhales next to you and you almost scroll past it, you'll know what that breath actually costs them. You'll recognize the sentence they're building. When they pick something up and look at you twice, you'll feel the weight of a gaze that literally alters the chemistry inside your skull. 8 signals, not 8 miracles, 8 quiet, repeatable moments you can catch every single day without spending $1 or changing your schedule. They compound. The more you notice, the more your dog offers. That loop does not expire. And the next time your dog does something you can't quite decode, come back, we will break it down. Now tell me something, which one of these 8 did your dog do today that you almost missed? Drop it in the comments.